Hey Ecofictologists, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lovis and today we are going to talk about Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. This book got a lot of hype when it came out and it must have been marketed with a heavy focus on nature and ecology because whenever I tell someone new about my channel and my interests in ecofiction, they all go, oh, like Where the Crawdads Sing. Anyway, it's a hugely popular novel. I think it's being turned into a film even, and eventually I did read it and I really enjoyed it, so I thought I'd talk to you about it. I often talk about how broad a genre or a category ecofiction is, and if you think back to my review of The Best Part of Us by Sally Cole-Mish, I talked about how that book gave such a wonderful sense of place that I considered it ecofiction. The environment and nature was almost a character in and of itself. And that is how I feel about Where the Crawdads Sing, even more so. If you're keen to follow along with what I read, then head on over to patreon.com/Ecofictology and join my monthly read-along where I just go through and I discuss what I'm reading, even the ones that I'm not enjoying so much that won't be seen on this channel. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, then go ahead and become a patron and I'll see you there. But for now, back to Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. Let's get into it. First up, as always, is a spoiler-free summary. Where the Crawdads Sing is a love story to the coastal marsh ecosystem. It's set in the marshes of Barkley Cove, a small fishing village on the coast of North Carolina, where Kaya Clark grows up alone for most of her life, known to the people of the village as the Marsh Girl. The story is told in non-linear timelines, switching back to Kaya's childhood, and then back to present day in 1969, where a man has just been found dead. The villagers, of course, don't trust a girl raised in the wild, and so she is under suspicion. The story switches back and forth, giving the reader clues as you follow Kaya as she grows up, and it leaves you guessing whether she did it or not. While the book maintains this kind of suspense and tension throughout the story, it also instills this sense of wonder and awe in the marsh ecosystem, which you see through the eyes of a little girl learning to survive in it as more and more family members abandon her, eventually leaving her completely alone. The villagers don't really accept her, and so she doesn't go into town unless she has to. She had one day of school, and so everything she knows she learns from observing the natural world around her, and she seeks to kind of understand human behavior through the behavior of animals. She learns to collect mussels by watching how crows do it. She learns camaraderie by watching the herring gulls, and she learns maybe the sneakier ways of relationships by watching fireflies. Beyond the absolutely beautiful writing that evokes this urge to get on a plane and go and see what this marsh ecosystem looks and feels and smells like, what I loved was the way that this book showcased the knowledge that someone has who has lived on the land for a long time that might not be considered hard science, but in so many ways is a more complete knowledge. Kaya understands exactly how the marsh works. She knows where to find food, she knows how to survive in it, she knows how to read animal behavior. Nobody taught her any of these things, but she learned them through observation and careful consideration of how nature works. The main plot of the story is culminating in this murder trial, and you always flash back to Kaya's backstory so the reader can collect clues to figure out whether she committed this murder or not. That gives the story tension and excitement, but what really lingered with me after I was done reading it was the sense of place and the deep connection to nature that was on almost every page of this book. So in my opinion, yes, this is ecofiction. From my definition of what ecofiction can be, it absolutely fits. It doesn't have like an explicit direct environmental message apart from some commentary on development and loss of some of these wilder habitats and ecosystems, and also Kaya's disbelief when she leaves her neck of the woods at how disconnected people have become from nature. But that didn't seem to matter to me. I still felt that this was a very ecological book, and that's all I really need for it to be ecofiction, to be honest. And that's actually something I found while I was reading it. I just became so jealous of Kaya's connection to nature, that it was really in every aspect of her life. She loved her marsh so much, and I simultaneously felt how disconnected I am from nature, even though, you know, I take care to go outside and I explore the Scottish countryside. I'm still not this in tune with nature. It made me immediately want to go out and be close to it. That is a powerful urge and something truly wonderful to inspire in your reader. I think if that's all I could ever say about anything that I eventually write, I'll be pretty happy with that. Delia Owens herself is an ecologist. She's written several non-fiction works on lions and elephants and brown hyenas in Africa. And when she was asked in an interview what inspired her to write this story, she said it was during this time where she was face to face with lions and elephants every day that she started to realize how similar our behavior is to theirs. She wanted to write a novel that explored how we behave and how we feel today and how that relates to how we used to survive in the wild. And in these isolated places where she was, she noticed how much being isolated changed her behavior, because we are inherently a social animal, you know, just like these herds of elephants and the pride of lions. We like being social, most of us, evolutionarily speaking. And she started to notice these differences, and she wanted to write a book exploring how being very alone in an ecosystem like the coastal marshes would affect the behavior of a young girl. She says that when she was a child, her mother would encourage her and her friends to go as deep into the forests and into the woods as she could, to really go and experience raw nature. And her mother is the one that used to say, "Go way out yonder where the crawdads sing." Your experiences as a child can have such a profound effect on how you view the world and how you interact with it. She says that when you let nature teach you, you learn so much about yourself. You might feel like you're alone, but you're not really alone. Delia Owens also says that she chose the setting very carefully, the coastal marshes of North Carolina, both for a practical reason. She wanted an ecosystem where you could feasibly survive all by yourself, but also she said it had a poetic role to play, because you have the coastal marshes and then you have a swamp area. And she says in life sometimes you find yourself in the swamp, in this darker place, and the book is all about coming out of that dark place and coming back into the light. So I hope I've given you an idea of what this book is all about. I hope you've enjoyed my review of Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. And if you have, give it a like and subscribe to my channel for more content on reading and writing ecofiction. Let me know down in the comments if you've read this book or if you now want to read this book. I always love hearing from you. And as always, any other book recommendations or suggestions for topics that you would like seen covered on this channel, then definitely leave those down below as well. If you like what I do and would like to support me, then head on over to patreon.com/Ecofictology and become a patron, where your monthly donation buys me books and also supports the marine conservation organization Love the Oceans, operating out of Mozambique. They have now received over £100 from us, from the Ecofictology Patreon team. My patrons are so generous. Thank you so much. I appreciate it more than I can say. If you're looking for some community around your ecofiction, then come and join us on Rewelding Our Stories, our Discord server. We have people coming to ecofiction from so many different angles, and there are book recommendations galore and just loads of opportunities for discussion. It's great. We have a great time. come and join us. Invite link for that is in the description below, along with the invite link for the Ecofictology Facebook group, where you can do all of that as well. Feel free to ask any questions that you like. So I think that's all from me for today. So go out into nature, go explore out yonder where the crawdads sing, and I will see you next week, Ecofictologists. Sorry, the seagulls are having a time. Oh my god, these seagulls! Shut up! Can't you see I'm trying to do something here? You give me a minute. Something's got them all riled up.